Cowabunga, motherfuckers!
Motherfucking bunga!
How you doing up here? We at Surf Talk, baby!
It's Surf Talk.
We're talking the sand, we're talking the dunes, we're talking the waves, we're talking hanging with the bros.
Oh.
The bras.
The bras.
The bros. And the brazizes.
And the banana hammocks.
That too. If that's your kind of thing. We're accepting of all communities here, except the wakeboarders.
Yeah, no wakeboarders.
No, we don't like them.
And we also don't want the...
I'm sorry, you mouthed something. What was that?
we don't want the...
Wow.
Irish.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. What you say about them, though, might have to be verified.
All right, yeah, it might need to be.
We might have to censor that until we
do some more research, until we do our own research.
We should definitely do our own research.
Yes.
Into the just Google what's wrong with the Irish and read whatever comes up. Put it into TikTok. Who knows? They probably have something on it.
Yeah, they probably got something.
What's going on, Donkey Kong? I've already called you Donkey Kong before. I'm not going with that nickname.
Yeah.
What's going on? Clam ham
Chowder.
Sam? Clam ham Sam? Clam ham Sam, because you like clam chowder and you like ham. And your name is Samuel.
Yeah. I wonder, is that a flavor people do, clam and ham together?
Yeah, they put ham and clam chowder and they do it in ham chowder.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, clam and ham, for sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I guess because it rhymes.
Yeah, you put bacon on clam chowder for sure. That's definitely a thing.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, bacon bits on a clam chowder. You put them bacon bit up on that clam chowder. I tell you that make it real nice.
Well,
I don't usually go up north, but when I do, I have big old clam chowder.
big old.
Put a bacon on
It's
it.
good to know for when I make my vegan version of the clam chowder.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why I would do that or what it would be.
Yeah, I mean there'd be like a lot of oat milk and stuff. I don't know. There's so many like
what
that's like a milk-based dish, and the
Yeah.
problem is like thickening anything besides milk with something like that is going to make it feel like kind of sloppy, not as chowdery. But I mean, you could definitely make a pretty convincing chowder. I think if you use the right proportion of roux to cornstarch. I think you could probably thicken it up pretty good, but it would probably it would only be good hot once. After that, it would keep kind of funny and get like brickish.
And also it would keep getting browner and browner, probably.
I kind of like it that way, baby. I like it when it gets browner and browner.
I've always noticed that whenever we did soups on the hot bar, like the milk-based soups would get
disgusting
would
within
get
like an
disgusting.
hour, and they'd be like, "Why does this look so bad?" I'm like, "Because you have to fucking heat it to fucking 10 minutes."
And then,
do you really need me to explain this? Because like you should be able, as my boss, to do your job and figure out why it looks so bad.
But then we would also take it off, cool it down, and then reheat it. Because they would use reheated soups, and then they would just look really gross.
Oh yeah, they'd look pretty junky.
They would look pretty
funky, pretty junky.
And those things, let me tell you, hot bar soup wells, that's nothing but a breeding spot for disease.
Oh yeah, fucking old men go up and put in fucking I feel like for every time I catch someone dipping their mouth onto the fucking ladle for that shit, there must be 10 other people I don't see.
Oh yeah.
And you see it often enough, not every day, but maybe once a week or so in busier places. Someone's fucking putting their mouth on one of the soup ladles and shit, and it's disgusting.
You don't have eyes on it the entire time.
Oh no one has eyes on it. No, you don't have a soup security guard. They can afford that.
Even with the soup security guard, that they would still be sipping on the soup, when no one's looking, or sneezing in it, or putting their finger in it to taste it.
Yeah. You got to ban the soup
I've also
soup guy.
seen people like put it into a little sample ramekin.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sip some and then pour the rest back in.
No, it's fine if they pour it into a little ramekin. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
No, that's 100% cool.
No,
if you want to sample the soup, just ask for a ramekin. You can have all the motherfucking soup samples you want. You can gotta make a goddamn meal out of it. No one cares. Nobody who works at a fucking Whole Foods fucking cares.
One time I saw a guy like do 10 of those. He just kept drinking them.
Good for him.
Good for him.
No, straight
he's
up.
getting his soup on.
No. He's trying out the soups, deciding if he wants to buy one. Most likely not, but there's a 5% chance he might have the best fucking lobster bisque fucking corn chowder ass shit in his life, and like be like, all right. Yeah, this truffle corn chowder, not so bad.
I'll spend $8 per cup on it.
Yeah.
It's like, which is basically what those things were. Soup is such a scam there.
Soup is a scam.
Yeah.
Like, especially by white, soup's a scam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a series of places. It's like made by a fucking soup factory that's owned by a larger food conglomerate.
Yeah. Soup comes from a can. It was put there by a man.
Soup comes from a bag.
Soup comes from a bag.
It was put there by a man. It was put there by a what, my friend? You can't say that on.
You can't say that on Star Trek.
I'm not going to go back and censor that out. Gonna have to put you down, boy. You done wrong. You said the unsayable. Yeah. What's the stinkiest alleyway you ever been in? Do you remember an alleyway that smelled so bad you like gagged?
I passed by a coworker today that smelled really bad. Probably worse than any alley I've ever been in.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it was his alleyway?
Yeah, it's probably his alley.
You think you don't wipe? Baby don't wipe, baby don't wipe, baby don't.
Baby don't wipe, baby don't wipe, baby don't.
But baby don't wipe.
Baby don't wipe, but baby don't wipe. Chili's, baby don't wipe.
I got my Chili's, baby don't wipe. Barbecue sauce.
Yeah, you do.
Booty hole sauce.
I do. That's fun. I enjoy that. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution there.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're here to do something today.
Oh yeah.
So we have a Patreon. Do you know that?
We do have a Patreon.
And it's patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. If you go up on there, you'll be able every week to recommend media for us to watch, and then you can vote on it. And this was voted on in like a 4-way tie, so we just got to choose 2 of the things on there.
Oh, nice.
And or I got to choose. You didn't really have a say.
No, I didn't have anything to say.
I think I chose 2 things you would probably be like most okay with. I don't know. I thought this episode was all right, and it was the thing about this episode. It was recommended like 5 times before, and it was in the running 5 times before, and it always got some votes, but not enough to win.
Oh.
And so this time it was in a 4-way tie, and I'm like, fine, we'll just do that this time.
Get it out of the way.
Whoever recommended that, thank you.
Which is funny because I have never seen an episode of the Orville before.
Yeah, did you not intend to?
No, I just kind of avoided because like there's something about Seth MacFarlane's face that really like invokes a reaction out of me that he's just very unsettling to look at to me.
Yeah, he does have I think you put it like a smugness to him.
He has a smug face.
Yeah, he knows he's very rich.
Yes.
He's
off of copying other properties. Because Family Guy was a copy of The Simpsons. And then he copied Family Guy to make the Cleveland Show, and then copied
American Dad.
Yeah. And this feels like a beat for beat, shot for shot remake of Star Trek.
Yeah, it feels actually it does like capture kind of a similar feeling to like Star Trek TNG.
Trek. Yeah.
It's just like very long.
Very long. I think there was at one point I paused to look how much I had left because I was like, how long is this episode?
Yeah.
But it was only like a little over an hour, but it felt like much longer.
It was about an hour 15.
Yeah.
So it was about as long as like a bad movie.
Yeah, it just kept going. I was just like, how much is in this? And is it like that because was this season? Because we watched the 3rd season. I've never seen the Orville before, so I was spending a lot of time just catching up, like just kind of just like trying to use context clues to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I wrote my notes too, as like a first time watcher. So like someone I get to be known as like the person that the episode kind of centers around, other than Topa, is Grayson, the commander.
Yes.
And at first I just say the commander because I don't quite get her name because they don't say it.
The only people's names I picked up were Topa because they say Topa's name.
I never get times. I don't think I get the captain's name, so I just call him.
I didn't either.
I call him like Captain Family Guy and shit like that.
Captain Family Guy, yeah. And the only other name I picked up was Isaac's the robot.
Isaac is definitely there.
Because also, I picked up on that because I was like, Isaac Asimov. That makes sense.
Bortus, the dad.
Bortus, yeah, I picked up on. I actually forgot his name, but Bortus I remember. I now kind of remember because also like Bort. Simpsons reference. So
sure.
but yeah, like I didn't catch Bortus's husband's name. I don't think.
Okay. It was complicated.
It was complicated.
Yeah. Well,
and I think I was texting Lucy throughout this because Lucy's seen it, and like I was just like, can you tell me who these Klingons are? Because
they're kind of Klingon, but
they're very Klingon.
We'll get into that.
Except they're a Klingon of all gay dudes.
Yeah. We'll get into this.
Yeah.
So, what we watched this week was the Orville, season 3, episode 5, A Tale of Two Topas.
Yes.
This was released on June 30th, 2022, so just last year. It was written, directed, produced by Seth MacFarlane. So this is like, and it ostensibly stars him too. So it's like, although he's not in it too much.
And also, like this, I guess, does this season have like a different name than the other two seasons? Because I think it was called the Orville New Horizons or something. Like, was it? During the opening theme, it said like New Horizons. So I was like, wait, is that? That's not the name of the episode. Is that just like what this is called? Is it called the Orville?
I don't know, man. I don't really want to get.
Is this
into
also
that.
the first episode of Orville you've seen?
Yeah.
Wow. So we're both going in blind.
100%. I stuck it in raw, baby. I just put this on, started taking notes, and I'm like,
It helps that it is so similar to Star Trek where you can just like infer a lot.
It built it up pretty well, and like it addressed the main characters in the story by name well enough to know where I knew their role, and people who didn't really matter quite as much. Yeah, it didn't really address, and I appreciate that. It was written like, I don't know, kind of predictably. That's the only that is my one complaint. I will go in saying it. I think it was a very predictable script. Yeah,
like it didn't hold like, cause like I guess like you can like make connections between this episode and what was the episode with the non-binary person in TNG?
The Outcast.
The Outcast. You can make a lot of connections, I think, with that
from TNG.
TNG, because like it's almost kind of very similar in scope. But I think I think the Outcast. I don't know. It told a more compelling story in a way.
It told a tighter story.
It told a tighter story.
I actually, honestly, I think I might prefer this story.
Really? But it does have a happier ending.
I definitely prefer this acting. The acting on here is actually pretty fucking good.
They are going full pussy out.
The script is like a 5 out of 10, but like the acting is pretty fucking good. And the delivery of it is pretty fucking good.
The delivery is good.
There are some like TNG episodes that are elevated entirely by their acting, and the script is pretty weak. And this is, kind of like a mediocre script elevated by like a cast that seems pretty cohesive. At least the central characters that they put in this story.
Yeah, like for me, like I think I could, even though like this was like completely, I've never seen a single episode of the Orville before, like, but I could see where the story was going and happened exactly how I knew what happened, but like which is good because I think with the subject matter, it is good to have like a happy ending on this because it starts off like
grim,
very grim, and very
grim,
like very dark, where you're just like, oh god, like this can only end one or two ways, and the other way is going to be like too depressing to film. So it's just like, it's good that it had everything, but it was kind of telegraphed from like very far away, and definitely didn't need to go on an hour 15.
I mean, like they had a B plot that wasn't really necessary but was good. It was good for some levity every now and again, but I feel like the levity they tried in this episode for the most part didn't work.
Yeah, there was like I only really laughed at one part,
Yeah.
really, but it probably did need like more levity or something to do more interesting with the alien ruins, because I thought that was going somewhere and going to actually tie into the main plot, but it never did.
No, it was just like a very distant B plot.
Yeah, I was just like, because especially when they introduced like the fact that they were able to use their technology to compile what the extinct alien race looked like. I thought that was going to come in handy with showing Topa, like, you know,
that technology, like to recreate exactly what they looked. That would make sense. You're not wrong. Yeah, that is a missed opportunity, because that was like a Chekhov's gun almost that they just didn't follow through on, and they could have, because it seems like Seth MacFarlane gets unlimited time on these episodes. So
yeah,
he could do whatever the fuck he wants.
I thought that was going to come back, and I thought that's the whole reason why it was introduced. So I thought it was actually going to come back and be beneficial to the story. I
can see why.
Yeah, but it never did, and I was kind of like, well, okay, well.
Yeah.
So I think it needed. If it had some more of that, like tie in like the more of the sci-fi story into like the human story, like that, I think. Yeah, that would have melded really well with me.
Let's jump right into it. Yeah. So we open on a dinosaur-ass thing flying over an enormous desert bunker.
Dinosaur-ass thing.
I don't know where it is. Below the crew is like a double pterodactyl. Below the crew is mapping the temple, but there's nothing really in there. Or so they think.
Yes.
Captain Family Guy is walking around with a data pad, and he's writing letters to Anaya. He can't send them, but he figures she might want to read them later. Suddenly, and their communications are blocked at the moment, so... Suddenly, they find something in the temple. They've discovered a vault that's heavily booby-trapped, and a robot named Isaac suggests they stand back while he open it. They walk into a chamber, and it's echoey. It's, echoey. There's a bunch of treasure there.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Aladdin reveal.
Yeah, Aladdin or like a Indiana Jones kind of reveal.
Yeah, and I do feel like I'm guessing they're post scarcity in this with their in this time.
Yeah, but it's a lot of artifacts, and artifacts do have value, because people like Picard will actually like put up real fucking whatever credits or latinum or whatever. He'll make a good trade for like rare shit. And
that's what I was kind of like, and I was thinking it was kind of funny. Like they also have like a love for xenoarchaeology that that Picard does. So I was just like, oh, that's their time.
Yeah, and xenoarchaeology is kind of like, I don't know, inherently colonialist in a way.
They are going in and just robbing. Like I'm sure, like this civilization is long dead. Like I think they said like 10,000 years. I don't know.
Are there? But are there any of them like existing left in the galaxy? Because like, if so, they should be passed down to those peoples and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. But it did seem like this whole planet is dead. Like it just seemed like there was maybe some sort of catastrophe that possibly but I mean they're still out breathing the air, so I'm just like
or like maybe they should leave it for like future inhabitants, like just to have ruins and stuff, because if they plunder the ruins and stuff, then people won't be able to dig up things and figure out that their ancestors actually did something and learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, it could be that they didn't go extinct. They could have just reached a level of development where they abandoned the planet. Yeah,
like what if and how would like our academics feel now if we just like found like completely robbed grave sites, you know, and like stuff like that, stuff we could have learned from.
Yeah.
But it's completely plundered. It fucking sucks to, you know, go in and find an empty room when there could have been something that like proved the greatness of a civilization that to us never existed.
Yeah. Could have answered like the question of the universe. Could have had the 42 thing.
Yeah, sure. It's not that kind of podcast, brother.
No.
So later, the ship, I don't know what it's called. Oh, the Orville, sorry.
The Orville,
is flying above the...
and that's one thing that every single time I see this name, I think, I don't think of like
I
Orville
think of a dog.
I think of Orville Redenbacher.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you want some popcorn, little children? I got a big kettle for you.
Apparently Orville Redenbacher money though, like I guess like his son invested in like Maryland not little league but
minor league
baseball teams.
Yeah. Okay.
He was I don't know. I always thought that was interesting.
I don't. So the ship is flying above the planet, the Orville, and some of the artifacts are almost 17,000 years old. They find a razor for facial grooming, and the commander excuses herself for some downtime. You know what I'm saying?
Hills, yeah.
Yeah. So
Feeding the horse.
next, they're on an alien ship, and they're being attacked. The deflectors go down, and it's clear that they're losing. Just as their vessel is destroyed, the training program pauses. The commander on the ship, who's like a child, failed and beats their hand on a desk, and they're also like an alien too.
Yeah, they look
like a little Klingon alien.
Yeah, a little Klingon.
Kind of honestly, like they look a lot like the reimagined Klingons on Star Trek Discovery.
They do, yeah. And I kind of get that sense. I mean, like I don't know anything about the Orville besides this episode, and it talks about, I think their species is called the Malkai, or Malkans, or so it's like and it does seem like they possibly have a warrior culture.
Yeah, it seems like that. It's definitely a male-dominated culture.
Yeah.
But it seems like at least the one who actually fights here is a fucking wimp at all points.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they're like a incompetent warrior culture, like, or maybe this guy's more like a wharf where he just doesn't get it yet.
Yeah. Maybe in the Orville Deep Space Nine he'll come into his own.
Oh my God. Imagine if, oh my God. Yikes. Don't do that to me.
Don't wish it into
don't
existence.
do that to ma.
Don't do it to me.
So, the simulation's over. The alien, whose name is Topa, is interrupted by the commander, Grayson, who asks if they were running the command program. Topa says when they're old enough, they want to go into command. They set up some time to work together. Then we get the opening credits at 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So, kind of a...
That was pretty long. But I mean, this whole episode's long.
Yeah, so it's an okay opening theme.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. It's fine. It's like better than like Star Trek Discovery or Picard, but not amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like. I mean, I will say for the Orville, it does have the same. They do great lengths to make it look like a TNG era Star Trek show.
They do, and the production is good in that respect because they actually pretty much nail it. I think for the most part.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, like all the sets are so familiar. They also they also show they have like a holodeck, just everything, and like the recreation like restaurant type area pretty much looks like 10 forward. Yeah. Like everything is similar enough.
It's 11 middle.
11 middle, yeah. And so like everything looks familiar enough where it's just like it like kind of it's so familiar where you kind of already have dialed into this episode. So
Right. Yeah, it's it does nail it on production. I think the production value is great. It's not something I noticed much while watching it because everything is well done enough to where it doesn't like suspend my disbelief.
Yeah,
there's some like close-ups on some of the practical effect makeup that I'm like, okay, maybe that's a little too high resolution for what they're trying to do there.
Yeah,
but it's like you see the same on like 90s Trek, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's pretty fine.
Yeah.
So when we come back, the commander, Grayson, is in her quarters when Topa enters. They get a jump on command training. The commander explains daily rounds. Norm Macdonald is in the credits, and that psychs me out.
Yeah,
I saw that too. He's going to be on here? That's fucking cool. So
and I was like, where's Tom? And then he has one line.
Yeah, so the commander enters a room, and there's a problem. There's a naked alien doing some work. He insists he's within his rights to be naked. Insists he's within his rights to be naked. She asks him to put on a uniform, and he says it's against his religion. He reminds her the Union is supposed to respect all religions. She has a compromise, put on some pants, and he agrees.
Which is kind of like, I was kind of wondering, I was thinking back on this episode after I watched it, I was just like, kind of thinking like, at first, like, oh, this really served nothing to the story. But then I kind of like, it's kind of like an encapsulation of the story as a whole. Of like, it's basically like the story kind of like boiled down into like 2 minutes, or just like, the respect of alien cultures, whether or not you respect it or you kind of have to compromise
respect, tolerance.
Like especially on a intergalactic scale where there's like competing ideas of belief.
Yeah, and social norms.
And social norms, and just like, do you continue to allow someone to do something that's disrupting to everybody else, or do you like have to step in and change it? So,
sure. And like, at what point do you say, like, can you not masturbate at work now for religious reasons? Is that not okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the Galactic Union or whatever it's called. Yeah, what is they called? The Galactic Union?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. It's just like it's basically like, this is almost like a different timeline trek.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically if one thing happened, that would be an interesting like thing to do. Right? It turns out this is just a different timeline in the same universe as Star Trek. It's just like, there was some divergent thing that happened, and then
Sigma Trek or some shit,
and then at the last episode, like Q intervenes and like, well, now you see what would happen, Picard, if you didn't.
Now you see what would happen if this was written by a Family Guy.
Take it back, you damn it, take it back. As you wish, Picard. And then it just goes back to the normal TNG timeline.
Oh, yeah. That'd be pretty good.
If Family Guy if Seth MacFarlane was elected president in 2024, this would be your president.
I feel like he would have a chance, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel enough people really like Family Guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's enough people that are like his type of people that I don't know if they're like active voters at all, though.
No.
I feel like they're the type of people that have a Rick and Morty bong.
Yeah, and I feel they have like some sort of like sex-based felony that keeps them from voting anyway.
Wow. Hopefully not.
You know they do.
I'm for universal suffrage. I think even sex felons should be able to vote.
No.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
They have interests too. They're part of the population that needs to be served. I think all prisoners should be able to vote.
That's for sure, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a prison abolitionist too, so I believe all these people should be in different sorts of protective custody that are not in prison.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, in the reality we live in now, they got a sex-based felony that keeps them from voting.
Yeah, that's true. So Grayson and Topa walk into engineering, and everybody's happy for Topa. A blob, played by Norm Macdonald, laughs at her joke and kisses ass. Yeah. Honestly, this is a total waste of Norm. It is so sad.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, Norm's going to say something else soon.
This is something he like recorded on a phone.
It is, yeah. Like he appears and then just like doesn't appear for the rest. I mean, I think you see him.
You see a blob later going into a concert.
But it's just like, it's just like a blob sliding around, and just like Norm. They just called Norman and is like, I'll record my line.
Yeah, that'll be $20,000. I'm gonna blow at a casino.
Yeah.
Huh. So her and Topa walk into engineer. Oh, sorry, no, I already read that. Commander Grayson explains ass kissing to Topa. Topa asks the commander why she joined the fleet, and she explains she likes the satisfaction of helping others succeed. Grayson asks Topa why they want to join, and they say they're searching for belonging, basically. They say they don't sleep well and that they're unhappy. Over with Captain Cleveland's show, he's discussing things with the doctor. Commander Grayson enters, and the captain says the Union is sending a science team for the temple excavation. Grayson says they're worried about Topa, who is struggling, and she knows there's something different about him. The doctor asks for him to drop by their office. She asks for guidance.
Yeah, at this point, I didn't know what they're referencing, because I'm guessing this was established in a previous episode.
I think so, definitely.
Yeah, because like they referenced this episode, the other episode later in this episode. But when they were talking about this, and I was just like, is Topa like a secret weapon, or is this like is Topa like a MK?
Oh, she got a secret weapon, all right.
She got that girl, dude.
Yeah. I was thinking like, oh, is Topa like an MK Ultra type agent that's like they picked up and they don't know what
a sleeper cell.
Yeah, like a sleeper cell agent. They don't know, and are these like troubling dreams like proof that like they're going to be like activated or something. So yeah, at this point I had no idea what this episode was about or the previous history of Topa. So I had no idea what they're even referencing.
so what they're referencing is apparently Topa was born female and was altered without her knowledge or his knowledge now. Because they're now they've been altered to be biologically male.
So it looks like they consider females to be an aberration in their culture.
They have like a very misogynistic culture to where it's like shameful to be a woman, kind of like Ferengi culture.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's like, are the women born? Or is that so rare that's why it's like, or is it just like women are born?
It never really answered that.
Yeah, like I that's what I was curious about. I was like, is just like, are they more? Are males born more often?
And can males procreate?
I think they do.
Okay.
So I'm guessing like because I guess that's what happens is like like they procreate with each other.
Right.
And then but they often produce males and women and a female's extremely rare. So that's why they alter them. That's what I'm guessing. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I inferred from the whole episode, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
we're just speculating.
This is a treatise on gender written by Family Guy. So Seth
just handled much more better than you would think the Family Guy would handle it.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So Seth MacFamily Guy says it's time to talk to Bortus.
Yeah.
So over in the dining hall, two guys with funny heads are eating when Grayson enters. She has Topa training, and for that the aliens are thankful. They offer her some culp, the green one, and she doesn't love it. She says she has something to talk about and addresses telling Topa about his origins. One of them is incredulous, the Dick Dad, but they do not feel the time is right as Topa parents. So there's two dads here. There's Bortus and the Dick Dad, whose name I didn't get. I'm just going to call him the Dick Dad.
Yeah.
Because he's a dickhead the whole episode.
We can call him Earl.
Well, he's the Dick Dad.
Yeah, Dick Dad.
So Grayson implores the parents to talk to Topa. When she leaves, they argue about what to tell Topa. And there's some pretty decent acting here. I think, especially the guy who plays Bortus is like really killing it. Grayson does a pretty good job on this episode too, but the Bortus guy and Topa does a pretty good job, I think, as well.
Yeah, from what I could tell from this species, they seem to have a very like direct, emotionless delivery to their except very like angry.
It's
very loud.
Somewhere in between like Klingon and Ferengi in a way.
Yeah, and they seem to be. Also, they also both seemed very stiff. Like I was just trying to figure out like. Yeah,
they had like stiff backs and walked stiffly like that.
Yeah, and so like they seem like they're a very rigid society. That's what I'm guessing. Like we don't know.
Or maybe they just like are always anal training, so they got to have good posture, or else it's gonna fall out.
I mean, it seems like
if you bend over too far, it's gonna come out, baby.
I mean, they seem like the dudes be fucking.
They do. They do be fucking. They be sucking. They be. That's why their names are Topa. It's because they couldn't name her Top or him at this point. I don't know. Him. Yeah, I don't know what to call them.
Yeah, maybe
up
just
until this point.
Maybe just they. Yeah, for now.
Right. Because
I mean, yeah, it's like because obviously, like at this point, they're not actually They don't feel like they're a male. Yeah.
Right.
But they are.
They don't feel like they're. Well, I mean, they haven't chosen to be a female, and like. So yeah, I don't want to dead gender them.
Yeah. It's hard to know what to do since
we're not into dead gendering on this podcast. That's some bullshit. Yeah, I basically quit a job over that. Yeah, super. So later Topa tells Grayson Topa meets Grayson, and Topa tells her that his father has forbidden them their father, whatever, has forbidden them to continue their training and must defer to the captain now. They don't like this as they feel a connection with Grayson and implores her to talk with her father.
Yeah, I was kind of getting the sense like Topa's kind of like Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like a really do-good kid who is hyper competent. Everyone in the crew seems to like and is like kind of always around.
And seems to be getting trained to enter.
Yeah, groomed.
These the real groomers. badges, baby.
Yeah, like they're setting like Topa up to enter. I'm not
a
sure
military.
Is it called Starfleet? What's it called?
The Union.
The Union
thing.
The Galactic Union.
Something.
Well, I was like the Galactic Union, like just like the larger thing, or is like they have a specific word, what they call
the Family Galactus.
The Family Galactus.
Family.
Yeah, to
Lucky
join.
It's a Family Galactus.
Yeah, they're basically training Topa to join the Family Galactus. Yeah.
So, later, Topa enters archaeology, and they're restructuring what an ancient alien looks like. Scene you talked about earlier.
Yes, yeah.
Topa excuses themselves to talk with Isaac, a robot, and asks them what it's like to be dead.
Yeah.
Obvious Topa is considering suicide.
Yeah, that was taking me aback. I was like, damn, this is getting dark. Like this is getting really serious. Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually like, I think it's important to talk about self-harm in relation to, the trans community because it is so incredibly prevalent.
Yep, yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's social reasons, there's chemical reasons, but a lot of it is just because they don't feel accepted and they don't feel like they're in the right place in the world.
Yeah,
and
that's why gender affirming surgery is so important, because it's like
absolutely
it's for mental health.
Right. It has one of the best like outcomes of any kind of surgery.
Yeah.
And like one of the most promising outcomes. It's like has a suicide drop rate of something like 73%, which is fucking crazy.
That is wild, yeah.
And like if you had a medication that could promise that, it would be the most popular antidepressant on the market.
Yeah.
Because nothing works like that.
Yeah.
Nothing works like feeling like you're in the correct body that you are.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. So I'm glad that they I'm glad they went there.
Yeah.
They actually went there, and I'm gonna have to say it one time.
Bravo, Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane.
You done it. You done it. You addressed something that is important to me,
and that isn't in the national dialogue.
Yeah,
it's brought up on the Orville.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like it's like an episode. It's like, and it's definitely like something that's not really, it's something that like was kind of addressed, and I think we were talking about it on the last episode, just like My So-Called Life,
right?
Because that had the first introduction of like a gay teenager,
sure,
and just like acceptance for sexual orientation.
Happy Days had several gay teenagers.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Ron Howard.
Yeah, look at you, baby.
But like, was that Ron Howard? No, I'm sure.
Yeah. I see that hanky hanging out your back pocket. I know what you like, boy.
So it's like, so this is kind of like, now it's like where this is more like now, where gender is like is now like at the forefront of your mind, and just like, but it's not really discussed. We've had our stories of sexual orientation acceptance, and now it's like now for trans acceptance, and and this is this episode that brings it up.
Yeah. So bravo for the politics of this episode aren't bad. I mean, it can be looked at as something, but I don't think that's what it intends.
Yeah, like kind of set it up like, oh, these gay dads trans their daughter at birth, right. but it definitely seems like, it's supposed to be like more like weird gender affirming surgery.
Right. It explores like trans rights in an interesting way that I think could have been done better, but still bravo for them approaching it.
Yeah, it could have. They could have like made it more concise.
Yeah,
because I do feel like we have a lot of back and forth between Topa and Grayson that probably could have like been condensed just for story's sake. Because I feel like it's kind of like prolonged. I think almost it seems like they're just like filling time in this episode. And also, we just had like the introduction of the thing that was able to show what like speculate what these aliens look like, and I thought that was going to be a initial gender affirming thing for Topa, where they're going to use the same technology to show Topa, them as a female.
Yeah, they don't really bring that back.
They don't really bring that back, and I thought that was the whole. Because like at this point we had figured out like that was like what was going on with Topa. And so I thought like, oh well, this is going to be a device that's going to be important later, but no. And even when they go to, I think there's a point where, later on they also go. It seems like again that they're going to use it, like when they go on the holodeck. I was just like, you're still not using it, but no.
So over at the bar, Topa is reading something when Grayson enters. She asks how he's doing, or they're doing, and they say that they're fine and they'll be all right. Grayson is suspicious of this and tells Topa that sometimes when she's feeling low, she has a slice of kimbap cake and says if they search the database hard enough, they might find a recipe that they like, which is very suggestive.
Yes.
I bet it's her porn stash. So in their quarters, Topa searches kimbap cake and finds a hidden file.
Well, first they find the cake.
Well, first they find the cake. Oh yeah,
it looks pretty delicious.
They
seems like a cake with like a little chocolate egg or something in the middle.
Yeah, and there's some things on top that look tasty too.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I'd fuck that cake up.
Yeah, so they can't find a password, so they go and order some cake. And kimbap looks pretty good, and an incoming message comes through, and it's the correct password.
What?
Whoa, who sent that? The file contains, and there's a lot of this where it like cuts immediately from like a kind of suggestive like big revelation thing to the next scene.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a predictable writing style that's fine, but it's very like procedural.
Yeah.
Fucking CSI type writing, to be honest.
Yeah, and also I feel like they were probably showing it. I'm guessing like they're showing us the scene that they watched in the holodeck later.
Right.
Like that's what I'm guessing they showed. Like I'm guessing they didn't actually show the surgery. Oh yeah, I think it did show like the court proceedings or whatever but like I was like, what are they watching? And I was kind of feeling like, this is why I probably should have seen previous episodes because I could kind of know what's going on.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So in medical bay, the doctor is treating somebody.
And who's the doctor played by?
What is she in?
Cassidy Yates.
That is Cassidy Yates.
Yep.
You're right. Holy shit. I didn't even realize that. I was like, she looks familiar. What's she been in? I feel like she's been like a principal in something.
That's Cisco's Cisco's wife.
Yeah, okay, holy shit. Yeah. And then his like wife again after
he put her in jail.
Yeah. She did collaborate with a monkey. So,
I'm glad that she's still kind of just like in a Star Trek adjacent type product.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, and she's a pretty good doctor. I like her enough. So in medical, the doctor is treating someone who tried to eat a Bolidian tark and had an allergic reaction. This is kind of an attempt at humor. It doesn't really work for me.
No, I was like, is this guy supposed to be funny? But
I think he's supposed to be like some of the comic reliefs, like
I was kind of getting the sense maybe he's supposed to be like a Tom Paris type character. Again, we're speculating because he seemed to be at the helm later on.
Right.
So I'm guessing that he's the pilot, but I'm not sure. We're speculating. We don't know. This is the first episode of the Orville we've seen.
Yeah, we don't know. So Grayson comes in to talk to Grayson. Grayson comes in to talk about Topa and wants to know if she's done a bad thing. Then it cuts away. Very predictable writing here. Yeah. So later, Topa's parents are talking, and apparently Topa missed a cultural game of theirs. They throw the egg or something. Yeah.
It seemed like a football type game. I think that was a ball that he was holding.
I have no idea. I don't really pay attention to sports.
Well, I was like trying to figure out because they mentioned the game, and I was trying to figure out what it was. Just like what the game. I don't know. It's just like what kind of game are they playing? But.
So what did you come up with? Did you come up with?
Well, I was kind of wondering if that was actually sort of like a thing that opened up into like a board game, or is it like but I think it was
it's a box kind of thing.
But I think it is more like a football or rugby type game that they play with it.
Where's Topa? He missed Jumanji.
He missed Jumanji train.
He missed Settlers of Catan.
We have just summoned Robin Williams.
He missed Warhammer 40K.
That would be sick. How come they should be playing Warhammer 40K and stuff.
Yeah, they can fucking just materialize anything they want, including painted Warhammer 40K figures.
And 40K is in their future still. So.
That's true.
So that's still playing like a future game.
Right. Cool. You can just play it on the holodeck and not have to deal with figures.
Oh yeah, actually be a space marine, just be like a weird hulking freak in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And have sex
And
in
have
the suit.
sex. I'm not even sure if they have sex. I'm not even sure if they have genitals.
Why would you be a space marine if you can't have sex? What's the point of fighting if you
because
can't?
they're
if
made.
you can't have love.
They're just living and dying for the emperor.
Do you think that's what they do with the Borg? Do you think they just take off their genitals and the Borg are like, well,
They put it into a blender and feed it to them.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Open up for your cock shake.
No, I think. I think they still have it. I think they just like kind of just like milk them basically, and that's why they make the Borg babies.
Oh yeah, keep going. I'm almost done. So the parents go to the quarters because that's where Topas reported, and they confront their parents about being born female and show them the file. And Bortus says it's true. Topa is incredulous, but Bortus says it's for their own well-being, and they had no plan on telling them, really. Topa says their entire life had been a lie. And their culture definitely seems deeply misogynistic here. I'm not sure exactly what the conditions
why,
are.
Like,
yeah.
Like, is it like
Ferengi, where just like, I don't know, it's kind of always been that way culturally, and it's never gotten better?
Yeah, it definitely seems like they have probably existed because like with zero females to their knowledge, like it seems like any women that are born in their culture are made to transition,
right,
or maybe die. I'm not sure, like, but because we I don't know, this is of course our first introduction to it, so we're just like taking what we see,
right. So Topa was taught that to be a woman was to be inferior.
Yeah.
Bortus is the better parent here, obviously, and says that they love them for everything they are and were. And the other one's just a fucking dickhead about it.
They really go all out to make this as like a realistic reaction to like how like, you know, some parents do react.
No, this is straight up like out of a school board meeting almost.
Yeah,
it's like it's actually like I don't know. I think the line for line writing isn't great. The overall story is pretty good, and the acting is really good.
Yeah.
Kind of in that order.
Yeah, I was surprised they really did just go all out with the Dick Dad and make the Dick Dad an irredeemable villain.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, damn, like, he doesn't even learn.
They take a side, definitely.
He doesn't even learn the lesson, at least in this episode. We're not sure if he does later.
Yeah.
But, like, I was just like, but, you know, that's the reality, you know, trans people face,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with family members. It's like...
And with Family Guy.
And Family Guy.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, sometimes you do just have, like, family members, you know, people that you love in your life that just cannot accept your decision.
Right.
And choose to burn bridges rather than cross them.
Right. And choose just not to accept who you are instead of accepting their self and their shittiness instead.
Exactly. And just wallow in their filth.
Mm-hmm. So with Grayson, Topa's father shows up and he's fucking pissed.
Yeah, Dick Dad.
He says he wants to break her neck, but she stands her ground. They have an argument, and he tries to strangle her, but she beats him and he leaves. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a weak dude.
Yeah.
Yep. The acting here is actually really good. Yeah. I really like the scene. It was like a little melodramatic, but like done on like a pretty good like TNG type overacting, DS9 type overacting kind of way.
Yeah.
Later, Grayson is in a lounge, and Bortus enters and says they need help with Topa. Grayson apologizes to him, but Bortus says he is the one who gave Topa the password. Bortus has a meltdown, and I'm actually really on board with the most of the actors here, especially Bortus. Bortus is fucking killing it. A little tear came to my eye.
Yeah, Bortus is doing the right thing.
Hell yeah, good dad shit right here. So later, the doctor comes in and gives a report to Grayson and Captain Gay Baby, and doctor says she thinks Grayson did the right thing and they should just listen to Topa for now. Topa is sad and wishes they did not know, but then recants. They ask what to do. They say they wish they could meet a female of their own kind, but their father will not allow it. So Grayson takes Topa to like the holodeck, the simulation deck, I think is what they call it there.
Yeah, it's a holodeck.
Sure, yeah, it's a holodeck, and shows them a room where their fate was decided, and they show a female of her kind, and apparently like it was decided they were going to be made female in like a big trial, basically.
Yeah, I guess like I kind of want to know what happened, because it seemed like from that.
You want to know what happened? You got to watch the Orville, baby.
Yeah, from that courtroom scene, it seemed like that the female, whatever their species is called, came out of like hiding or something to speak up on behalf of Topa back then.
Yeah, they were living like in a mountain town or something like that. And
so it's like, is that the kind of like? So was that like taking a huge like personal risks to be known? Like, because I was kind of wondering what the fate of that person was after coming forward, because it seemed like, you know, it was a necessity to be hiding from public view to not be like harassed or killed, because that's kind of like Dick Dad, like his argument against Topa going through with this is like that there would be at great personal risk by their entire species.
So that's what my parents told me growing up about being gay, and also about dating black people, or my mom at least. And like since then they've like become a lot better about it. Yeah, they've grown a lot.
But it does seem in this species culture, like maybe killing women is like acceptable.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe it's like a very conservative culture. Like,
yeah. So I kind of that's the thing. I was like, I guess I should watch this show so I can know more. Like, but yeah, it was. You
don't want to, but it's not a bad show.
No,
it's not a bad show. It gives me like middling TNG vibes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not a 10 on everything, but it does some things very well and does some things mediocrely to where it makes it like a competent Star Trek feeling show. It feels more like Star Trek to me than Star Trek Discovery does. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I do think Picard. I do think it could have been like really cut down into a tight 45 minutes.
Oh, it could have. Yeah. It definitely could have. They could have dropped some stuff and like done a lot less atmospheric stuff. They could have dropped all of the songs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing about Seth MacFarlane is he loves like
show tunes.
He
loves his he loves his Frank Sinatra and shit. They have a Frank Sinatra song in this episode.
Yeah, and that's why when it started happening, I started laughing.
Yeah, me too.
I was just like, of course.
I was like, I think this is a Frank Sinatra song, isn't it? And it was.
Yeah.
So, the simulation plays, and the female of her kind makes an impassioned speech, and Topa cries. Later, the doctor with Grayson and Topa says they want to be female. So they've decided to make a transition. So at this point, they are socially female. We will refer to Topa as she. So Topa's father, the dick one, is fucking pissed again.
Yes.
Grayson takes the opposite side and they argue. Bortus thinks that Grayson is correct, and Topa has the right to decide. She also wants gender-affirming surgery. Topa's father says Topa is too young to make the decision. Grayson calls out his hypocrisy.
Yeah, so I couldn't figure out how old Topa was.
Topa's not of age yet. Topa's like not a child, but not of age. I think they're like a Wesley Crusher, like 15, 16, 17, 18, something like that.
Okay, but I was wondering, like, well, when did they get, like, because were they given surgery as a child, or did they grow up very fast? Because
yeah, like they were given like surgery as a child. Yeah,
because that's why I was wondering, because like that episode that was referenced, that's the trial where I'm guessing Topa was a baby, but it seems like it was probably like a season 1 and season 2 episode. I'm guessing. So I was like, is just, do these species grow up very fast,
right.
Like I'm not
because
sure.
it could be like a Kess type thing.
Yeah. Like do they spend very very little time as a like as a baby and then like instantly become a child for several years. But
I don't know.
Like,
I'm not willing to do the research.
No.
I'm not gonna lie. That's on you, buddy. You should have. You should look up your questions.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah. If I have
Yeah,
questions,
I just
look
like
them
having the questions hang.
Do you? Yeah. You just like the mystery.
I like the mystery.
You have to like having to go back and watch the Orville.
The Orville.
So, Topa's father, the dick one, is fucking pissed again. Him and Grayson argue.
That dude would be mad.
Yeah. Captain Cleveland Show says the decision only requires one parent ultimately, and Bortus is on Topa's side. Topa's dick father threatens to leave Bortus. Speaking with an ambassador or admiral or something, she tells the main crew that this is a highly political and divisive decision. She orders the doctor not to perform the procedure. Grayson says all the legal boxes are checked, but Captain American Dad says the Macklins are deciding rights. And the Admiral says if they want to get the procedure done elsewhere, they can, but it's clear they'd never make it without Union protection. So basically, there's like no hope for Topa to get gender-affirming surgery anywhere.
No.
It's too politically divisive.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. That's why I was like wondering if they were going to kill Topa over it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because like now, like I'm wondering if this does affect the rest of the series. Because now, does that affect like their all future interactions with that species?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this ship comes across another like a ship of the Macklins or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
it seems like they're like they are in like their galactic federation.
Yeah.
Like as where the Klingons aren't, but like it seems like these Klingons are.
Mm-hmm.
But like so yeah, I was wondering if this is going to cause problems. I mean, I'm guessing this will cause problems further down the line.
Yeah.
But it's neither here nor there right now.
But it's also politically advantageous in the end. We'll get to that though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
The Admiral says their hands are tied. Bortus decides to tell Topa along with Grayson. So Topa is incensed. She asks when they get to decide how to live their life. She says that they hate the universe. Grayson decides to console them, but they accept being male and live in anger.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going to refer to her as she.
Yep.
Because, yeah. So back at the archaeological dig from the beginning, the doctor heals.
This is also a weird time to come back to this.
It is. I didn't like this breakup, and it was like they did it. Yeah, this is a B plot that ultimately didn't matter at all. It was just a reason for them to be in orbit somewhere and do another plot.
Yeah, that's why I like the idea that the A plot and the B plot were going to commingle with like that technology they use,
not at all,
to benefit, because
that
would have made sense to integrate it that way.
Yeah.
But instead, it's just like this other set piece for them to go to.
The B plot was kind of a big wet fart.
Yeah. It really serves no purpose ultimately, and unless like this thing comes back down further in the series, it just seemed like a completely unnecessary thing. Like this story could have been told solely on the ship, like without like this sort of
right.
Like,
it could have been more of a
thing.
bottle episode type thing.
Yeah, it could have been a bottle episode. Yeah, just like a courtroom type episode.
But they needed to spend like the $10 million an episode they're giving him.
Yeah, because I was about to say like it seemed like they built the whole outside
very very well produced.
Yeah, like they have like an entire desert set with like a massive ruins and stuff, and it's just like I would have liked to have something come out of that, or not have it at all. And that I think that would have like actually probably cut enough time to make like the story, because like it's also like given like the severity and weight of the story that they're telling, because like so far we have like self-harm, we have or like allusions to self-harm, we have like a parent disowning their child. It's the guy who wrote Family Guy. Yeah, I know.
He's got to have like these weird interludes that like try to make funny things happen and just don't make sense. And
but I was just thinking with given the weight of the subject matter, like quickly like cutting to like this other scene, and it's basically just to basically have like kind of like the the solution come up. But I feel like this could have been done anywhere else. So
it should have been done like in the fucking ready room or like
it should have
in the conference room kind of thing. It should have been a round table, like people talking it out.
Yeah, you're definitely correct because it should have been like this would have affected like. Because it's such a heavy subject. Like Captain Family Guy should have been like, okay, well, we're going to have to my ready room. We're going to discuss this, and it should have been like the back and forth. Doing the problem solving.
Yeah. So the doctor wonders if they resign their commission, if they could perform the procedure on Topa, because that basically works with all of the stipulations that the admiral gave them.
Yeah.
The captain says it's dangerous, and Grayson says that they've dedicated their life to the Union and serving it. Captain Peter Griffin says that he could do it, or that the doctor could do it, but they'd have to have full plausible deniability. And he keeps talking about that in this episode. Basically, the captain is always only trying to cover everybody's ass, and he's not really active or like coming up with any solutions himself.
No. Yeah, I was going to say like he really doesn't do anything in this episode.
No, he's kind of like just a yes and. Like,
which makes sense because it's an ensemble cast. So
it's fine that he's giving like other people the spotlight, but I feel like as a starring cast member, he's not really doing anything.
Also, it's like given like this is a decision on his ship. Like he should have been taking a more active role, like in it. Like
I mean, he tries to take responsibility, but ultimately no punishment whatsoever.
But it should have. Yeah, like this should have been like ready room thing where he's just like options.
Yep. So suddenly, Isaac has an option. Isaac the robot. He says he's not a commissioned officer. He's technically an emissary, and his title was never changed. He says he could perform the procedure using the ship's data. He says he could definitely be a doctor, and the doctor agrees. Captain Family Guy officially orders him not to do it for plausible deniability.
Yeah.
But he's not an officer, so how can he order him not to do it? I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
He could have been like, just like, well, have fun in the medical bay for a little while.
Yep. So back up on the ship, a ship-wide announcement is made that Bortus will be doing a musical that night for the whole ship, and the whole ship RSVPs immediately. They spend a considerable amount on extras going to the concert.
There's so many people.
There's like 200 extras that they paid for this scene, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, for like half a day, they probably paid like 20 grand, 30 grand just in people, just for this scene.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking show, man.
That was a lot. And I was wondering, like, is it because like everyone on the ship is complicit in this? Do they all know? Like, and that's why they're all going to the show?
I think Bortus is just popular.
Bortus is just popular. Okay, because I was like,
they all want to hear Bortus do a musical.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get. I was like, I was wondering if it was like a giant show of solidarity.
I think it was basically like, I think he's kind of the Worf. Like if Worf was doing a musical, everyone on the ship would go because they'd want to see that.
Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of left me like kind of curious. Like, it was just a giant show of solidarity for Topa at this point.
Yeah,
or was it? Or because but then again, you also want as few people to know about this as possible,
right?
So they're like, okay, so was it just Bortus was very popular?
Yeah. So, they spend a considerable amount. Oh no, they already did that. So a kid comes in and plays a piano, followed by Bortus, who at first says the key is too high. This is mean to the child.
This is the only time I laughed in this episode.
Yeah.
That key is too high.
No.
And the kid's like, ah.
Yeah. And then he sings "Nature Boy" by Nat King Cole. Pretty good song, but it's, I don't know, kind of showing way too much of Seth MacFarlane in this, I think.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is a Seth MacFarlane thing.
Yeah. So it's a great rendition, but I wish they'd stop padding this episode out to an hour and 15 minutes because I got to write fucking notes on this shit, and that takes like 3 hours when it's this long,
Yeah, and like there is definitely like a lot of opportunities to really like make this nice and tight. They just chose to
nice and tight.
Nice and tight.
You called me. It's the fucking fuck machine, Mr. Man. Here to fuck some pussy, some bussy, some holes, and some poles. You know what I'm saying?
Get some snaz.
Oh yeah, blasting some snaz.
Blasting some snaz. Yeah, but we got an hour and 15 instead of 45, but it's fine. It's fine.
As we come up on an hour and 5 minutes. So Isaac the robot walks through an empty hallway. Isaac comes to Topa and requests that she come with him. Mm-hmm. Isaac is basically the fake dancing robot from that Elon Musk press conference. You remember that thing? It looks like that.
Man, yeah. I forgot about that.
Really? What do you masturbate to?
Not knowing that thing exists.
Oh, bummer, man.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I guess they did definitely just drop that because it's like, well, that was bullshit.
Yeah, absolute horse crap.
Yeah.
So Topa has some easiness, and Isaac reassures him with some bedside manner and tells him they're safe.
Yeah. I do like how it was clear like Isaac was just accessing something on bedside manner.
Yeah, but it was kind of sweet in the same way.
It was sweet it seems like Isaac doesn't actually feel any sort of compassion.
Right.
Like it's Isaac's like Data.
Mm-hmm.
Data just is like just kind of like doesn't necessarily experiences emotions in different ways.
Right.
But Isaac seems to be kind of almost less, or just like doesn't have any sort of like thoughts or feelings on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just does it. So
do you think he fucks though?
I mean, I think so.
Okay.
At the end of this episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe
we'll talk about it. So suddenly, with Isaac and Topa alone, Topa's dickhead father comes in, and Isaac protects Topa from him.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, he fucking gives him the business and almost breaks his hand. It's pretty sick. This motherfucker though, Topa's dick ass, bitch ass father, he weak as hell.
Well, I think Isaac's very strong.
Yeah, but he also got his ass beat in like one stroke by fucking Grayson.
That's true. That's why I was like wondering. I was like, are they a warrior culture like Klingons?
No, I think it's just a weak ass manlet culture, like big old guys who work out a lot and suck.
Yeah, get that suck on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the procedure begins, and Bortus finishes his set with a Frank Sinatra tune because Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah,
Seth MacFarlane. Topa wakes from the procedure and takes their first steps. They look at themselves in a mirror and truly see themselves for the first time, and a smile spreads across their face. And this moment actually kind of got me.
Yeah, it was nice.
Kind of got me. Their ship enters orbit. The Orville enters orbit with another ship, and the admiral wants to meet with the captain and Grayson.
The ship design is very strange to me.
It's whatever. It's fine. It's very like no corners kind of.
Yeah,
blobby.
It kind of seems like they wanted to stay
really
away from
differentiate themselves from Star Trek.
Yeah, so like no warp nacelles. So like I guess what act as the warp nacelles are actually like a loop, 3 loops that go around.
Right.
And because I was wondering, is that just like serve the function of a warp nacelle? So that's probably just like all engineering, like warp core type thing there.
Sure,
but
sure. That's what I think.
Yeah, but it was a very, very strange design.
Yep. So the admiral wants to meet with the captain and Grayson. She excoriates them for their actions, and the captain tries to take full responsibility. But fortunately, their action was politically advantageous, as it has made the Moclan more ardent in their hatred and has strengthened their allyship with the Union.
Yeah, because they don't like the robots.
They don't. I mean, so Isaac's race, before Isaac died, I think it was an actual like race of being. I think. I don't know if they're against the robot people or against, because Isaac like was. I don't know the deal with Isaac. I don't know if he was a robot who tried to kill himself as a robot, or if he was a being that killed himself.
I think he has always been a robot.
Put into a robot.
I think he always was a robot.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
So it was like, wait, are they at war with robots right now? Like,
I don't know, man.
But yeah, it just seems like. But then that just makes Isaac look worse, because now it's just like, so Isaac's enemy number 1, and as is Topa. So it's just like, does that mean like there's going to be like the fake Klingons like coming after them personally all the time now?
I don't know. I mean, it depends if people know who did it and stuff. If they're gonna protected anonymity and shit. So in Topa's quarters, her dick father is packing, and her and Bortus try to get him to stay and ask for tolerance. She tells him that she loves him, and dickhead father says he wishes she were never born, which is fucked up.
And I was just like, damn.
Fucked up. They went there.
I was like, that was wild as fuck.
I mean, but fucking parents say this to their children.
They
and
do.
Shit, and it's fucking fucked.
I think this would have been a good point where Bortus should have like punched him or something.
Yeah.
Bortus should have been like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And like really fucked him up.
Yeah. He should have gotten beaten a third time in this episode because he's a weak little bitch.
Though I do hold out hope. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's only 3 seasons of this show, right?
Right. So far.
So like, I'm wondering if like, maybe if not in this season, this is like the. Are they only doing 10 episodes?
I think so. I mean, how can they afford more than that? Jesus Christ.
Every episode looks so expensive. That's why, TNG was able to do 26 because they have the cave episodes or the just the ship episodes.
Right.
So, but like, I'm hoping like maybe at the end of this season, like, Dick Dad like has a come to Jesus moment,
or like gets exploded or something.
Gets exploded, but I think
transphobes getting exploded.
That shit rules, baby.
But I do want to hope it is sort of like like TNG where they change the heart and minds of they're able to debate their villains and then and the villains change their mind based on new facts. So I'm hoping Dick Dad doesn't stay Dick Dad forever. I'm hoping Dick Dad accepts Topa eventually. Not in this episode, but maybe one down the line.
But we do love that we have Bortus, who is a great dad in this episode.
And
really stands by his daughter and her decisions. And right here, he tells her she's perfect.
Yeah.
Also, a moment totally got me.
Yes. Yeah, that was really sweet.
Yeah. So later, the doctor tells Isaac that they did a great thing. She wonders if that means something for him, the robot, but he says he did it to advantage himself by making the crew like him more, because the crew like Topa. The doctor says he's the most honest man she's ever met, and holds his hand and asks if he wants to have dinner.
Hells yeah.
He agrees, and they walk off together. She gonna fuck a robot.
She gonna fuck
that robot. Later, Topa is eating some cake, and Grayson calls her. She wonders if she'd like to sit in the command chair for departure to the next destination, and she says she would. And she goes up to the bridge and gives the command to engage.
Aww.
The end.
Very cute.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, had a good message. Like, just, like, the only thing for me is, like, I should have been a tighter episode. Like, I do feel like there was probably a little too much back and forth between Topa and Grayson that could have. They could have
cut a good 15 minutes. It could have been a tight hour, honestly.
Yeah, it could have been a tight hour. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think maybe 41 minutes might have been, like or 42 minutes, like a regular like TNG episode. Might have been a little too little for this to let it breathe, because I did like the space they gave it, and I did like the score to it, and how they didn't have music all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the song in the beginning sounded very Jurassic Park-ish almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, I was like, I did like a lot of the music, except like I did laugh at, as we said, like the typical Seth MacFarlane musical choices.
Right.
But yeah, the music was good. And I would have, as I said before, I would have liked a integration between the A and B plot that would have like tied the sci-fi element and have a sci-fi like approach to also like the human problem,
right?
And just have that sort of like just to make the episode like flow better. I think just like instead of like these weird awkward cuts to like an archaeology
right
dig while like a child is being disowned by her father.
Yeah, and the archaeology dig, I don't know, they could have done something with that plot to like you said, to make like the sexual reconstruction or something, if they didn't have records of like that. Exactly.
Use the predictive software to give Topa an early gender affirming
Right,
type
right,
thing,
right.
where and just give them some hope.
Right.
And
Pussy.
yeah, and just like give Topa an idea of what of an ideal existence for themselves, and that would have been cute and fun, and just also and made them even want the surgery even more, and know that this and kind of maybe also and use that as like a way arguing point with Topa's dads.
Yeah.
But we got what we got. But I did like the episode.
Yeah.
I think it's very important subject to talk about. It's like something that doesn't make its way into normal television at all, and so it's just like it's refreshing to see. It's surprising it came from Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the episode. I'm not gonna lie. I would honestly give it a solid 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I was actually. I was being since it was like the Orville. I wasn't sure whether or not Orville was a comedy. So I was expecting.
Yeah, I heard TNG with dick jokes. There wasn't a lot of great humor in here. I didn't think. I think that's where it fell the flattest. I think the humor in TNG honestly is better most of the time.
Yeah. And it's strange enough, and one thing that really soured me on the Orville was just how people discussed it in places like Star Trek shitposting.
Yeah,
where they're like, it's Star Trek with blackjack and hookers or something, and I was just groaned and made me roll my eyes.
Yeah,
so I was just okay, whatever. So I think that really marred any sort of interest I had in the show. So because they just made it seem very soy bacon type shit.
Yeah.
And so I had zero interest in soy bacon stuff. So
yeah, maybe we should have done Soy Orville.
Soy Orville, yeah.
I feel like that's a much less congested podcast category.
yeah.
Than Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I mean, when are they still making Orville seasons, or has it been canceled?
I don't know. I think they're still deciding or something. I don't think a 4th season has actually been approved, but I don't think it's been canceled either.
Yeah, I was surprised there was only 3. For some reason, I thought there was 7.
Well, it's kind of fucking. It appears the Orville season 4 has been canceled and will be returning as of 3 days ago.
Oh, that's very strange. That's very convenient. So there is no more Orville.
Probably not. I guess so.
So
maybe
maybe we'll never know what the fate of Topa's dad, Big Dad, is.
What's happened to Captain Family Guy?
What happened to Captain Family Guy?
Yeah. Does he get killed by the gay baby?
Let's hope so.
Know. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope we have a crossover.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know it wasn't a Captain Family Guy episode, but I didn't really buy him as a captain.
No, he seems more like the managerial type who's not a good leader type exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because I was thinking that maybe he wasn't the focus of this episode, so I didn't really get to know him as a character.
Right.
Because I'm not sure if I'm not sure what his character is. Besides maybe
bland
just
white guy.
Besides just probably playing himself, he's just playing Brian.
Sure.
Which is Brian's his stand-in and Family Guy. So I'm guessing this is just him being himself and in space. So, but who knows? I mean, we're speculating, but I just didn't really see any sort of personality from him in this. But,
yeah.
I mean, this was a Topa episode, a Grayson episode, a Vortis episode. So,
sure.
Yeah, we got
copious amounts of them, and I thought they all did pretty good.
Yeah, I think we got more of a sense of who Isaac is.
For sure.
Because I definitely feel like Isaac probably had more of a impact on this episode than Captain Family Guy, but
materially definitely. It couldn't have gotten done without Isaac. Isaac was the deciding factor in here.
Yeah.
That made it so they didn't really have to change any of the major cast or storyline or anything.
Yeah.
Because if the Doctor resigned their commission, that'd be fucked.
Yeah. We don't want to lose Cassidy Yates just yet.
Right. If Bortus took them to go to another planet, they'd take Bortus out of the cast.
Yeah.
Same with Grayson. There's basically all of the possibilities besides this would have kind of put a major change in the show. So this is kind of the obvious outcome, I think.
Yeah, that was a good episode. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess
it could be seen, as you did mention earlier, something we should probably talk about.
Yeah.
Is it could be seen as a de-transition narrative.
Yeah.
Basically, because they are a trans person already, at least medically, being that they were born female but assigned male at birth after extensive surgery, I think. So that one's a fucking can of worms that we are not going to really approach.
No.
The only thing I gotta say is trans rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should see it in the positive light, because you kind of, it's kind of almost seen, it could be read as a conservative nightmare, you know, gay dads transing their daughter.
Right, exactly.
So but you know, it was sort of like, just a way to tell a trans story in a space setting. So yeah,
and like the dad is like an LGB, one of those motherfuckers, the LGB who are against trans people.
Yeah.
LGB coalition, whatever they call it. Fuck them.
He's a turf.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
They can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. He just wants to go back to his planet of dudes.
Yep. Suck some dick on the planet of dudes.
Planet of dudes.
Back to the glory hole with you, old man.
I guess, I mean, God, will I have to watch this whole season?
I think you're going to watch the Orville, brother. It's on my server in a great quality.
League of Vault. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I mean, what else are you going to do? But put your boohoos in a basket, take them to town, try to sell them.
You put the killer up on your Plex server, so I think I might be watching that.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe I'll take it off.
I love me some Michael Fassbender. He's awesome.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You like him to Michael Foss bend you over. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm gonna tweet him that. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Michael, bend me over."
Like, Foss bend me over.
Ass bend me over.
Yeah. There you go. You got it.
And then he just blocks me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And restraining order.
And restraining order
again. You can't.
And then guess what, Michael Fassbender? You can't give me two. You only have one against me.
You can't get rid of my Michael Fassboner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll watch it one day. Who knows?
Well, I think that, anyway, it's probably a good place for us to leave it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for trekking with the soy boys, girls, and other wiggly beans. Hang dong and
Soy.